Hello and welcome to Help I'm a Teacher. My name is Alistair and this is Teaching Tips Tuesday, where I give you the tips, tricks and ideas to help you be a better teacher in the classroom. Today's Teaching Tips Tuesday is all about classroom management. I think we need to address the elephant in the room first. I'm a 6'4" male with a deep booming voice, and some would say I have an advantage in going into classrooms. Now, although it's true that sometimes having that taller stature and having that deep voice is an advantage, the best substitute teacher I ever saw was a 4'10", 70-year-old woman who had the class eating out of her hands. I've taught in over 100 different schools, thousands of students, and I'm hoping with that experience of going into different classrooms, I'm going to be able to give you some tips and tricks to help you with your classroom management. Tip number 1, respect over friendship. Now, I was very lucky early on in my teaching career. In fact, I was still at university. I was on placement and I was teaching a class. Now, I know this is going to resonate with a lot of teachers, but when I first wanted to become a teacher, I wanted to be the cool teacher. I wanted to be the teacher that the kids were like, yeah, we like you, Mr. Taylor. So I'm up in front of this class. I'm joking with them, having a good time. We're laughing, we're talking about things that aren't school related. And then an interesting thing happened. These kids liked me. They liked me a lot. But as soon as I said, all right, let's do some work, they didn't listen. They wouldn't listen. I was their friend, but they didn't respect me as a teacher. And what was interesting was the teacher, my prac teacher at the time, came up to me after class and he said, do you have friends? I'm like, yeah, I've got friends. And he looked me right in the eye and he said, then why do you need 38-year-old friends? And that resonated with me, and it's resonated with me my whole teaching career. We aren't there to make friends. We're there to be respected as a teacher, and we're there to do a job. Which brings me to tip number 2. Set your intentions and rules at the start of the day. Now, this is probably the main one. When you go into that class, spend the first 5 to 10 minutes setting your intentions for the day so the students know what to expect. If you have set boundaries and they're clear, then that gives you a little bit of freedom throughout the day to be joking and having some fun with the kids. But you can always snap back to that intention. One way I do this is having my own class rules. Now, I'm sure that every classroom that you go into, if you're a substitute teacher, is going to have class rules. But what I like to do as a substitute is I like to bring in my own class rules. But here's maybe a little bit of manipulation. I get the kids to come up with them. So I've already got my rules. Now, my rules, I might do a completely different video on what my rules are. But what I will do is I'll ask the kids, what do you want the rules to be? And you'll ask the kids and they'll come up with, I don't like it when I get hit. Oh, fantastic. So we respect each other in the classroom. That's a rule. Oh, I don't like it when I'm talking and somebody else talks. So we don't talk when others are talking. This works every single time. You just point it and say, guys, these aren't my rules. These are your rules. You give those students a choice at the start of the day. You set those intentions, you set those rules. Listen, if we follow these rules and we have a great day, we're going to have a good day. But if we don't, then unfortunately, it's not going to be fun. It's going to be boring. So let's set those intentions. Let's have a good day. Now, every substitute teacher I know tends to have one of these. And whatever one of these you have is completely up to you. And that is a cue to stop the kids from working and focus on you. Now, I know lots of teachers who like to clap or click or put their hands in the air. And these are the cues to stop the students from doing what they're doing and focus on you. Well, I'm just going to give you what I do, but however, this is completely up to you. And in fact, I would love to know what your cues are if you could put them in the comments below. My cue is I like to say heads, shoulders, ears, eyes, mouth. I will say, do as I say, not as I do. Hands on heads. And the kids have to put their hands on their heads. Hands on ears, hands on nose. And then I'll say fingers pointing at your eyes. Eyes. I just want to see eyes, nothing but eyes. If I don't see your eyes, you're not doing the right thing. Can I see? Thank you. Ooh, oh my gosh, look at those eyes. And if you've set those intentions and you've set those rules, then you can have a bit of a joke. And I like to say, oh my gosh, you're all looking at me. Oh, stop looking at me. And that's the cue that I use to know that we're going to start. Tip number 4, have a good reward system for good behavior. Positive reinforcement as a teacher is so imperative. We sometimes fall into, especially if we're tired, we're just not on our game, we tend to fall down the negative reinforcement. I'm going to have other videos on what my good reward systems are, But whether yours are stickers or stamps or prizes, whatever that is, make sure that you have a good reward system in place. By rewarding good behavior, focusing on positive reinforcement, not negative reinforcement, you are going to get the students doing the right thing. And it goes back to that step 2 again of setting those clear parameters and clear rules where you can really have some fun with the class. Tip number 5, if you set a punishment, stick to it. I cannot tell you how many teachers I've seen, and I've been guilty of this as well, of saying, all right, we're staying in for 1 minute at recess time, and then I realize, I'm on duty. Making sure if you set a punishment, that you stick to it. This goes back to the respect again. Students love boundaries, they do. And if you say you step over those boundaries, you give them a warning, you give them a second warning, then you give them the punishment. And please never, and I've seen way too many teachers do this, never, ever, ever set schoolwork as a punishment. I've heard teachers say, you can't go out and play at lunchtime, you have to sit in the class and do mathematics. You're elevating lunch and going outside, and then you're actually saying that mathematics is a punishment. Do not use schoolwork as a punishment. I tell you, the best punishment is literally just sitting there for a minute or 2 minutes, just sitting there quietly. It feels like forever. Here's a bonus tip, tip 6, and trust me, I struggle with this one too. You have a challenging student, don't say their name as much. Focus on the kids who are doing the right thing. Now, I know this might seem pretty basic, but I want you next time you're at a school to think about the challenging student in the class and how many times you say their name versus a student in the class who's doing the right thing. And focus on saying, Sally, you're doing a great job. John, I love the work that you're doing. It's fantastic. If you focus on the students doing the right thing and do not acknowledge the students doing the wrong thing, it is going to set up a dynamic of positive reinforcement. If you do have a challenging student, let's say the name is Little Jimmy. Instead of saying, Little Jimmy, stop that, one thing that I like to do is I like to point, not look. I'll keep teaching the class and I'll click. What that does is I'm not giving the student eye contact. I'm not saying their name. If anything, I am acknowledging the behavior, but not the student. So that bonus tip is focus on the students who are better behaved and try not to say the name of the more challenging students in the classroom. It is hard, trust me, I know. Okay guys, there are my 6 tips for behavior management today. I hope you got something out of there. It'd be very interesting to see what you think in the comment section below. If you've got any of those cues that you like to use, please let me know. If you like this video, please give it a like. It really helps the YouTube algorithm to help get my video out there. My name is Alistair. This is Help I'm a Teacher, and until next time, bye for now.